first of its kind, the first dome
Anywhere and everywhere, folks. Welcome back to Dome. The Dominicans in the house. We got Terry. David is gone. I honestly don't know what he's doing or where he is. He just told me that he absolutely needs September 20th off. So I was like, all right, whatever, man.
He didn't elaborate?
No, he didn't. So I can only imagine he's doing something he's ashamed of.
Or maybe that he really has been trying to do, you know. I know David's a busy guy, so I know there's certain things like, I mean, not any man, you know, with a wife, you know, and a kid, there's certain things that you know, hey, I need to do this. So
Yeah.
You know.
It's true. And you know, all power to him. At the
Yeah.
end of the day,
I'm all for
I
it.
think about like how much I love my nephews and whatnot, and I still can't imagine ever like having a kid of my own, really. I would though, if I managed to get a wife and she was like, look, I need a kid, I'd be like, okay, fine, I'll do it for you.
But
And I probably love the kid. You know how
Right.
there's that like joke that the
I'll
dad,
probably love the
the dad like doesn't want the dog, and
Right.
then they get the
They
dog,
fall in
and
love
then
with the
the
dog.
dog. Yeah, so that's how I would be with a child. And maybe this is a bad analogy, but
it
I don't
sounds
know.
more so of like it was a woman you loved and she had a kid already, and you just happen to be, you know, maybe stepdad eventually, and you're just like, oh, the kid's not that bad, like, you know.
Shit, dude, that would have to be a cool fucking kid. Luckily,
Like, I think
David's stepkid is cool.
Yeah, he is. I met him, and he really is cool.
He's into cool shit, and
Yeah.
you know he's probably gonna surpass all of us.
I think
one
for
day.
you, like, if say you're dating this chick and her son likes MF Doom, this like, you know, 8 or 9 year old kid, and he's like, go bar for bar.
He's like, all caps, Dad.
Yeah, like all caps, bro. Like, and you're like, yo, what the fuck do you know about it, bro? And then like, you know, now you're sitting here bonding, listening to freaking MF Doom with this 9-year-old.
there is something childlike in the whimsy in which MF Doom raps.
Yeah.
Like he's sort of a Dr. Seussy type of rapper. You know what I mean? Because he invents words all the time, talking about breastises and stuff like this. Yeah, you know that dude hugged and kissed it. Yeah, that's it. Yo, the MF Doom lyrics. Yeah, he's always making up shit. Yeah, so that it could rhyme in a scheme. And yeah, you know I want him on my team.
Yeah, he said double Dutch, and then he said double clutch the microphone and turn on the microphone with a thumb struck. So I was so dumbstruck. Whoa, his wordplay, bro, so unique. Oh,
Food, yeah, I love that dude. R.I.P. MF Doom, I do not mean to be rude. I wish that I could be you. Yo, you are the best rapper that has ever lived and died. Man, I wish I could go to the hereafter.
when I heard that you had passed, man, I had some tears in my eyes, and I had to roll the grass. I was like, I had to smoke that marijuana.
I will say, they announced his death on New Year's Eve, which it kind of seemed like you could have waited till tomorrow. Everyone's having a good time right now, and
It was New Year's.
It was New Year's Eve when they announced his death, and it immediately made me sad as fuck. But he had died in November.
And like, yeah.
He had died over a month earlier.
A couple months prior to that.
They could have announced it then, but they like intentionally waited till New Year's Eve.
And like
That was weird.
I get it, and you know they said they do to like they wanted to have family take their time to grieve and do their thing before they announced it.
But doing it on New Year's Eve is an intentional move. That's an intentional move.
Is that
for
you're gonna
sure.
start my year off with a crazy, and with and it's funny that you said that, because that whole 2020 was just a fucked up year for me, because not the beginning of the year, literally in January, Kobe passes.
Mm-hmm.
I was pretty hysterical about that.
That was a rough one.
And then the end of the year, my favorite rapper dies.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what is going? Yeah, just like, go ahead, God, just end it all right now. I'm like, it's over. And then what? A year or two later, Akira Toriyama dies from Dragon Ball Z. So I'm like, all like my big three of my childhood and my life are gone. I have no real expectations on anything further now.
I'm trying to think of my big three. I think I was big Ninja Turtles head. So Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird, they're both still alive. So I'm good on that. And what's funny is Kevin Eastman, he's more. I have multiple Peter Laird autographs at my crib back in Hawaii. Because you send him a message and ask for an autograph and he'll send you one.
Really?
Kevin Eastman not as charitable with his Ninja Turtle autographs.
He's like, I need $5,000.
Yes.
Yo, that's dope. That's really cool. Like, see, like, when did you figure that out? Like, you could just like what?
It was what was it really? I had always loved the Ninja Turtles.
Same.
And I had like the VHSs and I would buy the figurines whenever I was at like swap meets and stuff, like the figurines from like the 80s.
Yeah.
And then they did a reboot of the show on Fox Kids in like the early 2000s. And I was all into that.
Same.
And it's in
so
hindsight,
dope. It was really dope.
I think it was a really good show.
Because
I know it lost its way towards the end. They started
Yeah.
doing Turtles in Time, and the art style changed. It became more like shitty.
Yeah.
The art style became shittier.
But I
for
loved
some
how
reason.
they like kept it. They had like a dark side to it. It was like almost Batman type.
It was also
for Ninja
based.
Turtles.
It was also based on the original comic book run,
Yeah.
which was more dark and adult oriented. Whereas like the Archie Comics version of the Ninja Turtles is what the previous Ninja Turtles cartoon was based on, where they're pizza loving dudes and whatnot. That was Archie Comics Ninja Turtles. But then you got Mirage Comics Ninja Turtles. Yeah, it's dark. Oh, these Ninja Turtles, yeah, they get the weed and then they spark and they go and roll. Got the blicky in they soul. Yeah, they pulling up. Yeah, they got the pulling stuff. Oh, what's up?
Got my nunchucks, got my bow staff, got my katana. Yeah, I got my size if you want the drama. Got my master Splinter rap with me, yeah, faithful. And we got that dude with the mask in April.
Yo, those OG comics were low-key kind of violent. They were cutting off limbs and that blood was spraying. Yo, go silent. They were killing motherfuckers. Yo, they killed that dude Shredder and shit. Yeah, they killed that bitch. Yeah, Foot Clan, yo, they awesome shit.
No lie, Shredder was one of my favorite bad guys, cause he was fucking up the turtles, no lies, and he had no remorse. And of course, yeah.
No, that was that was what I was talking about on the previous recording. When I cried because I missed an episode, was that Fox Kids Ninja Turtles series. And yeah, Shredder was cool. I remember like Shredder in the series, it starts off Shredder is, like just a master of the martial arts and just a crime kingpin or whatever. But then eventually it's like he's also an alien. He like there's like some brain creature. I can't remember what they're called. The Utrons. Utrons, yeah.
They start working together.
And the Utrons are what Krang is based off of. Like Archie Comics borrowed the Utrons from Mirage Comics, but only one of them, and they made it Krang.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, dude, Ninja Turtles back then. I
got no problems with the Archie Comics. I think that's
Archie
it's like its
comics
own. They were cool.
It's its own universe.
Yeah,
it's really dope. It's really dope. But I loved that run, that 2000s run for that Ninja Turtle series. By chance, did you ever read the Last Ronin comic?
The Last Ronin, was that a Ninja Turtles comic?
Mm-hmm.
I did read. Is it newer? Because I
think it's like 2023.
Yeah, no, I didn't. But I had I downloaded basically the entire Ninja Turtles comics compendium at one point, but this was 10 years ago.
All right.
So I know they're still making them.
Are you familiar with the Last Ronin story?
Not really, to be
so
honest.
Basically, all the there's a fight with Shredder and the turtles basically like get killed off except for Michelangelo. And he's the only one that survives. And so he carries his brother's weapons with him, and he's like the rogue ninja. Master Splinter's killed off and stuff. And now it's like a pretty post-apocalyptic.
They were kind of doing that in the early 2000s comic book run. They like killed Donatello or something like that, and it was just about how the brothers had to just continue. I don't know.
But I like how they picked Michelangelo because he was the more funny and goofy one and couldn't, hard to be serious. And
no, that makes sense.
He's put into this role where he's carrying the weight of his brother's death.
That would affect the story more than any of the other turtles.
But
surviving.
It's like I read the comic online, but they have a narrated. They have a bunch of narrated versions of it on YouTube. And it's like probably like an hour and a half or so long, and they're really good. Like the one I watched, like the narrator switches up his voice and everything. I think there's like maybe a few voiceovers, like people. And then they have like the sound effects for like the action scenes and shit. So it was pretty interesting.
Fair enough. I've never been able to get into narrated comics just because I can read faster than the narration, and I find the words are on the screen sometimes. Sometimes they're not because of copyright issues. They'll block out the words.
Yeah,
so
the one I was
it might not even be copyright issue. For all I know, they're doing that so that you have to listen to the narration.
Yeah. Some of them, like the Marvel comics, some are copyright. Like they don't want you to. Yeah. And then but
the images aren't. Just the words.
No, just the words themselves. Yeah. But the one I watched, like all the speech bubbles were blank. But the guy, you could tell he was reading it. You know what I mean? Like, because everything, it didn't sound like he was making it up as he was going along. Like, it was like he was actually reading the comic. It was just the speech bubbles were blank. But he had all the sound effects. Like, if they were walking, you hear the, and then
that's
like the swords
a skill.
And all that shit.
It's an underrated skill that I don't think anyone really values anymore. Is being able to read out loud and switch up the cadence with what you're reading.
Right.
Like if the sentence that you're reading ends in a question mark, you read that sentence as like it's a question.
Right.
And some people can't do that. They literally just read. They can read out loud, but they don't add any inflection to any of the obvious grammar.
They just sound like this the whole time that they're reading. Yeah. When the question mark comes up, they just sound monotone, and then you don't even know what's going on because they sound like this even when they talk on the phone.
But at least you can read out loud. If you can read out loud, you should be proud. I remember in high school, elementary school, there were some fools that could not read out loud, and that was uncool.
Oh man, you talking about popcorn reading. I used to love doing that thing, man, and I would always raise my hand because I could read better than that man.
Yo, I was reading like so good, my man. I would change my voices up, yo. You understand when there was quotation marks? I would do my shit, bro. It would make sparks, yo. I'm a good acting, bro.
I was such a good reader. I would pause at the commas and all that other stuff. Even emphasize all the drama. Even on my periods, I would stop at and you is all curious.
I would even read the words we're not allowed to say. Mark Twain, yeah, yo, why'd you have to do that, man? I just don't want to say this, and they wanted us to. They were like, we're gonna say that word, dude.
I'll never forget. I'll never forget reading that book in class and freaking the N-word comes up in the book and it's on a white kid that's good, like, because we're all reading in rotation. And so the teacher literally stops everybody and they're like, so I want to let everybody know that there's a word in here that's very derogatory towards a...
That should have happened before they even started.
Literally, like, and it's funny because I'm reading ahead. I'm already, like, I'm one of those kids that
like waiting until you get to the chapter where the word drops to explain it to the class is funny.
And it's funny. What's crazy is like the class laughed and she was like trying to be like serious. She's like, it's not funny, and it's like she didn't get that we weren't laughing at the word. We're laughing at the whole idea of okay, yes, we know about it.
What was the demographic in your classroom like?
It was mixed race. So like my class, I would say it was like in this class specifically, it was mostly, I want to say 30% black, 30% Hispanic, and then it was like white and Asian.
Okay.
The rest. So it was like the and what was crazy, which I loved like about my most of my teachers and my upbringing is because Long Beach is such a diverse city of different ethnicities. The teachers made sure, or certain teachers made sure that they had kids sit next to different groups of people.
Interesting.
You know
okay.
what I mean? So it's just like not all the black kids are in the back.
You find out that one of the
corner.
students' parents are super racist, so
Right.
you intentionally
sit them in between a black and a Hispanic
Yeah.
kid. Like, yeah, sit right here, and I'm gonna sit you in the front too. Like, yeah, but yeah, the word is coming up, and then it's on one of the white kids, and she has to stop and explain it to the class or whatever. And so you could see it in his, like, he's turning red. He's just like, you know. And the funniest part
with excitement.
right? The funniest part to me is just like, it's one of those scenes where it's like all the black kids are looking at him like, yeah, you're gonna say it, aren't you? Like, you've been waiting
Say it,
for this.
bitch.
Say it, motherfucker. Say it. And he kind of like, he looks over at me, and I'm just like, yeah, come on. I was just like, and he's like, kind of like says it all quiet or whatever, but a part of me wanted to be like, you wanted to say, nah.
Yeah, it would be funny if the teacher was just like, if you could just say it with a soft A, please, that would be acceptable.
What are you gonna do with this nigga? Like,
We had- there was-
whoa.
I think because I went to like a Christian high school and whatnot, they were like intentionally reading the books because we also had Uncle Tom's Cabin as like assigned reading, and that word is flies around there too.
It flies around like a motherfucker.
And it's also just a weird book. I was like, what a
It
weird
is a weird
fucking
book.
book.
Like, who wrote? Like, well, why was this written? It's like I was confused. I'm like, what, like I feel like this book was purposely written to show how much of a bigot and racist this guy was.
It's so, but like he's also, if I'm not, maybe I'm too far removed from the book. It's almost like a white fantasy of how black people should be
real
or
shit.
whatever.
Real shit.
But a ton of people love the book, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Crazy. It's fucking crazy, bro. It's fucking crazy. The things that you can write in a book and sell, and then people are like,
I couldn't name a single thing that happens in Uncle Tom's Cabin. All I know is that it birthed the phrase Uncle Tom, which is a bad thing. You don't want to be an Uncle Tom.
Because in his eyes, Uncle Tom wanted you to be an Uncle Tom. So that's why it's like on the outside, it's like, no, we don't respect Uncle Tom.
So bizarre.
No,
so bizarre.
It's crazy. American history is wild, folks. Very, very wild. Very, very wild.
I mean, also just education in the 90s was wild. I feel like in retrospect, I didn't have like a good education.
Yep.
I'm dumb as hell because, all my teachers, they went to the same college, and then they met up and were like, let's start a school and stuff, and we'll teach them about Christ and ruin their life.
I was about 17 in high school, and I had a teacher that was about 24. So, and I was like, you're about my older cousin's age. How do you know?
Yeah, it's also weird when they're like in their early 20s because sometimes they're hot and that's not funny. And then we had this one teacher that was a little too friendly with some of the students, and that was weird, G.
There was this chick named Miss Mickelson that graduated from Long Beach University, and she came to be my math teacher, and I was like, gosh, I would try to math teach.
We had this lady named Miss Lambert, and she was always going to flirt with my boy Jeremy and this other dude named Joven. Someone found love notes in her office.
Were they black?
There were no black people in Hawaii.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Were they dark skinned?
Yes. Well, Jeremy was a white dude. This other dude, this other kid was, I think he was Hawaiian, Filipino or something. But it was so weird. I was this lady's. No, I wasn't her TA, but she shared an office with the teacher who I was the TA for, and there was like notes between. It might not. I didn't see a note from her written to the student, but there was a note from this dude Joven to her talking about how like she's pretty and whatnot. Like,
I would love to have private math sessions with you.
And it was clear that she like picked favorites. Like,
I had so Ms. Mickelson, she was my math teacher in my junior year, and she was like 24, 25 or whatever, and she looked like she was our age. That's what it was like. She had a hard time teaching our class because it was like, we can't take you serious. Like, dude, like,
No, there is something about that.
It's just tough, and so.
And when teachers try and be your peer, you almost lose respect for them in that regard too. Like,
right. But I wasn't one of those bad kids in class. Like, I showed her the respect she needed, but I showed her extra attention because she was hot. Like, I was just the good kid on purpose.
I was also a very good boy. I never really got in trouble.
But
like
she
that.
would do this thing where, like, we would be taking a quiz or, taking a test, and she would come around and, like, make sure we're doing our shit. But she would, like, lean over, and she had, like, these huge tits.
Nice.
And she would lean over, and her tits would, like, brush my shoulder a little bit. And so she would be leaning in. I would, like, kind of purposely, like, kind of, like,
nice.
Lean over. Like, she would say something, and I'm like, what did you say? I can't hear you. Kind of just, like, brush her boob a little bit. Like, yeah.
Oh, man. Those were the days when you could just be a little perverted and get away with it because you're a minor.
Have you had any, your first experience with an older woman or any chicks older than you? Not necessarily older woman, but like a chick older
every
than you.
lady that I've gotten with has been a little older than me. But
what's the oldest? Or, like, what's the biggest gap for you?
I swear the biggest gap is, like, maybe 3 years.
Okay.
Nothing too crazy at all, honestly. Okay. Not that I'm against it or anything.
No.
I swear I'm just, like, not. I feel like I'm too busy to seek that shit out, and I don't have, like, the free time. I don't know. It's a weird thing because.
Right. So let me dive into. Let me ask you this, because it's like, I've never. I mean, as long like knowing you, I know about you. We've talked about your past with women, but what is a free time Alex, like single Alex, like what is that like? Like like what, like are not that you go out looking for chicks, but like when you were out and when you had that time.
I mean, literally, it's a thing where if I start to feel bad about it, I'll just go on the apps.
Okay, so you're more of an app guy?
Start swiping, and then I have no problem with the apps. I know that they get a lot of hate and whatnot.
People find my godmother found her husband on freaking Tinder, and they've been married for fucking 8+ years.
Yes, I guess now I'm more so getting to like this idea where I'm almost like the idea of being in a relationship is cool in theory, but then in practice, I just don't get anything done ever.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't know.
Get anything done in the relationship or for you?
Like, like in my own personal work.
Okay.
And shit. Because
I already like you're more geared towards the relationship.
There's I kind of become obsessed with whoever I'm with to a degree.
Understand. That's how I can be.
And then on my personal work kind of suffers. And you know me, I need to like Bruce Buffer to be like, hey, ready to rumble so I can go on and start my day.
It sounds like you need a chick that's on your level. That's got her foot on the pedal. That's really about the grind, about taking time to bring that income, and y'all could be divine.
I've thought about that too, my dude. I think that I don't want it too much similar to my desires because of the competition.
Well, maybe not even that as far as what you do. Maybe you need somebody that just supports you and has her own thing going, and then y'all can meet up and have your own thing going.
I agree. That is the fucking dream, because that's how it is, and I'm about to cream. Just thinking about the lady who is not too obsessed with me or me with her. But that's the thing is, I find like a year ago, I got into like a little Tinder relationship thing, and it lasted about 4 months.
Okay.
But I noticed that it was literally all my personal creative work was suffering,
dwindling. Yeah.
Because I would go over to her place and like watch a movie and whatnot, and I had a great time,
But you're like, I could do this shit at home.
Yeah, and then in the back of my mind, I'm like, fuck, dude. Your hopes and dreams are suffering now because of this or whatever, and maybe that's like a mental illness that I have that I need to overcome.
No, I can totally I can piggyback off that, because similar to the situation I'm in with my friend, where we've had multiple conversations where she's basically shot her shot and you know, she's like, hey, I really like you, you know, you're someone I could see myself with, and you know, yada yada yada, and vice versa, I could see myself with her. But it's just like my mental state right now is like, I don't want a girlfriend. Like I'm down for, we can be together, we can hang out, and you know, more so maybe commit ourselves to each other to an extent, but I don't want a title or anything. Like I enjoy your company, I care about you and shit like that, but I don't want to be the one to hurt your feelings because I, you know, where I'm at in my life right now.
There is
if that makes sense.
I can't help but have in the like back of my mind the because we're both in our 30s, you know what I mean, and there's something about like it seems like it just gets crazier the older you get, like both parties. Like I'm sure I'm expressing some weird thing upon whoever I'm dating at the moment, that they're like, yo, this is some weird lonely guy bullshit. Right. But I feel like I see the same thing in return often when it comes to this sort of, because like all my friends are married now at this point except for like 2 or 3. And
same.
Yeah, and it's like almost like, man, maybe that was kind of the move.
But that's not the move you want to make.
It's not even a move I could have made. You know what I mean?
Like, same, yeah.
There's
like,
something about that too, where like I don't have a house. I don't.
Right.
Like there is something about like, especially living in California, that I've had this thought. This is kind of a fucked up thought. I was like, if I ever was in a situation where none of my awesome friends who have been willing to cohabitate with me and share rent and shit, if that ends, which it most likely will eventually and probably soon, I would need like a lady to be able to afford a 1-bedroom apartment or whatever, or else I'd have to find some strangers to live with or some shit.
Yeah, nah,
there's a part of me that wants to get back into dating just in case that happens. You know what I mean? And that's fucked up.
No, I get what you mean. And like, no, it's not, we're not going to crash and burn, Alex. Trust me. Like everything's going to work out. We're going to be good. But at the end of the day, like those, especially living in California, you have to have a plan B or a C. Like it's, you know, because
it's weird.
It's very weird. You know what I mean? And like and now I see why a lot of my friends growing up moved to Texas or Arizona or fucking Vegas or something like that, like just so they could afford a house or, you know, something of that nature, you know. But me always growing up, at one point I did want kids and wanted a family, but then that shit died out in like my early 20s when I was partying a lot and I realized how much fun I was having, like just enjoying myself.
Well, I know, I have an uncle who didn't have a kid until he was like 45, and
my dad had me when he was 35, 36.
Yeah, I mean, it like, at least for the man in the situation, you have time. I know that ladies have a biological clock with that.
It's like it gets risky in their late 30s.
Yes, but they can still give birth in their 40s, which is crazy.
There was a woman in her 50s that gave birth.
Yeah, shit, I can only imagine being 50 and that happens. Yo, I would be like, yo, what the fuck? My bones are snapping when this baby's coming out. Yo, my bones turn to dust, but she's got a cute mouth.
Imagine dating a cougar and then you all up in her cooter, and now you have a new Simba, a new love, Methanala, and now you got a new family. Now you holler all night because you gotta buy the.
Oh my God, I got this kid with someone who's older than my mom. What did I did? I can't believe this shit. Now I gotta like go pay child support and stuff to some lady who makes more than I do. It's rough.
Look, if I knock up my mom's friend, just know that this is the end of everything I do and everything I love. I should have wore damn love, got knocked her up.
I bet your mom got some hot friends, true. I know that black don't crack, and you could be like 62, and I'd still want to be doing you.
Bro, there's some, like, especially working at the grocery store, there's like these older like Hispanic women and black women, like even funny shit. There's this Cambodian mom and daughter that come in, and I swear they look like twins, but they're
both like 4'8".
Like they're about like 5'2" or so. Yeah, they're short.
I was close.
Yeah, but like I thought they were twins, like, and so I'm just like looking at them, and I'm like, "Are you guys twins?" And the mom goes, "Yeah." She's like, "Yes, we're twins." And the daughter gives me this look. She's like, "No, we're not twins. She's just my mom, and she's annoying as fuck." And she's like, "No, we're twins." I was like, "Y'all look good." I was just egging it. I was like, "Y'all look good." And she was like, "See, he says we're pretty." And I was like, "Yeah, let me get the mom-daughter action."
It is one of those things. Like, I assume that the mom must have had the child young.
Had to
for that to still be a thing.
Yeah, but there's no telling, because I don't know how old the mom was. She just looked young.
That's that.
She could have been in her 40s, maybe, at least.
You got to do what you got to do. If you're a mom and you don't have a husband to help you out with that kid, shit, man, you gotta really. You almost have to become like a man who is trying to date. You know what I mean? A woman with a kid is like a man,
right? Just
in general, or a man who doesn't have like $1 million.
The older I've gotten, I've discovered too that with white women, the only older hot women that I'm attractive to are the ones that like those are the women that go out and like go to the gym and like they come in the store in their like workout clothes, and like it's like the stay at home wife like stereotype, but like the husband's out and they're just out doing the stay at home wife. So maybe she's just going to the store, but she's got that outfit on because she's like, my husband's at work all the time and I just need some attention. And it's like,
when I first started working after college, I was doing tiling, and I would often just be alone with the wife because the husband is making all the money. That's how he can afford to redo his bathroom and shit like that. And there were a few that I was just like, shit, man. I wanted it to turn into a porn scenario. And there were multiple times where I was like, could this do it? Because I swear there's a thing where older ladies will hit on you, but they won't fuck you. They hit on you until they realize that you want to fuck them, and then they get that validation, and then they're gone. You know what I mean? Because they're all right, I still got it, but I'm a married woman. I would never ever cheat on my husband, that kind of thing. Which all power to him. I love it.
I love flirting. So I enjoy that little bit of, and it's funny because what's really crazy is catching the chicks that come through with their guys. They'll come through the checkout line with their guys or whatever, and I always say, hey, like, especially if it's a couple, I always say hello to both of them. I don't single out, like, because I don't want it to be weird, like, oh, you're white, your chick is hot, I'm gonna say hi to her. Like, no, I'm like, hey, how you guys doing? Like, and then I make eye contact with the guy, like, and most of the time if the guys don't say nothing or whatever, I'll just hey, how you going? You guys need bags, yada yada yada. But what's crazy is sometimes the chicks will do is this flirty smile or like this look while the husband's bagging or whatever, or they'll calmly come over and say, oh, so how are you doing today? And I'm like, oh, I'm good, just another day at work, okay.
That might be more for her husband or her man, you know what I mean?
It's like, it makes it awkward. Some games. Like, yo, don't come up to me flirting while I'm working unless you gon' start twerking for me and your mans. I mean, guys got some demands, and you already know I'm the man.
I agree that it is psychotic behavior, but yo, if you're at the grocery store, you flirt. That's just how it is. I don't want to go to work unless I got 1 million chicks talking about me, sir.
I'm at the checkout line and I'm scanning melons, and then this chick walked through and she had some melons, and I was like, gosh damn, I'm feeling like a felon because I might fill her up, but nah, I do it up.
I like a lady with some melons, some real big breasts, and I don't know the rest of this rap, it's a test. Yeah, I just look at them and look at her, and I'm like, alright, yo, is your boyfriend around the corner?
Yo, This one chick came through looking fine, and I asked her if she had wine, and she was like, yeah, I'm about to have a good time. And I was like, can I go? And she was like,
Nine.
Now this older lady came through. She had got 2 big bottles of the Casadores tequila. She was going to a party.
Is that the George Clooney one? Or no, that's Casamigos.
That's Casamigos, yeah. And I was like, where's the party at? And she was like, oh, it's my friend's bachelorette party. She's getting married. And she's like, we're around the corner. And she was like, you should come. I was like, where? And she was like, yeah, it's right around the corner. And she wrote the address down on a paper. A part of me was like, I could go. But the other part of me was like, you know what? I'm in work clothes. This is a bachelorette party. Nah. And even if I
you
went
could have been the
home,
food for less stripper.
right, but
You
I
pull up, you got your apron, and they're like.
But I was
"Ooh."
also pretty musty that day too. It was hot. I had been sweating and shit, so I was like, I don't want to be the funky black guy at this party.
No, so yesterday I went to Keenan Rush's concert. Keenan Rush, a friend of the show and former
Shout out Keenan.
multiple guest appearances. He was our most previous guest, and he did a bang up job. Look out for his performance take. Probably this week, yeah. So I went to see him perform in Hollywood yesterday, and he did a fucking awesome job. He had a whole band there with him, which I did not expect. I'm so used to pulling up to rapper shows and then just having a DJ there pressing play on some shit, and like he didn't even rap over like any backing vocals or anything. It was just all him, and I was like, fuck yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And he was very happy that I showed up, and he invited me to this after party. But it was also a little awkward because I was like the only white dude there.
No other white guy.
But it was also like a ton of like, I was the only white guy, and it was a ton of black women, and then like 5 black guys. And I feel like I probably could have made it work. I could have gone to this after party thing that he invited me to and had a good time. But at the same time, I also was thinking about the show. I wanted to go, but there was also like a part of me that was like, man, I am going to embarrass myself if I go to this after party.
And you're very cultured, and you know the difference. Mm-hmm. Was this a show? Were these black people or were these niggas?
Well, you know, I feel like...
Was there ignorance in the air, or was it just very social? Everybody was pretty chill.
Everyone was very chill. Everyone was totally chill, and that's why I was like, I said earlier, I could have made it work, and it would have been a good time.
You're very sociable.
There is something about that though, like, I find, even though I consider myself a cultured person and like a man of the world, and I don't fit into most of the like white guy stereotypes, I do express a lot of like white guy behaviors often, like just the like corniness that's ingrained just with being white. Right. I will just say some shit and then immediately be like, what the fuck, Alex? Like, I can't believe you just said that shit. Like, that's so weird.
But have you ever got any backlash? Or
no,
like,
never. And
I was gonna say, I feel like that's more you being in your head, because I do that sometimes where I'm around a certain group of people and I'm like trying to be sociable, and I feel like I say some shit and I'm like,
yes.
Fuck,
well,
Terry.
it's also every white person's worst fear to be called racist. You know what I mean? True. And so if there's any like,
but you're
inclination,
you don't even give racist.
No, I understand that too, but there's still just like the what's the word I'm looking for? Like the temperature out there is,
I feel you, yeah,
is kind of crazy right now, yeah. And I do believe I carry myself in a very respectable way, but everyone's haunches are up. Everyone's haunches are up, and they're waiting for that little moment where someone slips up and
be like, you. Fuck
what,
you.
Well, what do you mean by that?
Yeah. Nah, I get you, bro. I get you.
One of my favorite clips on the internet is, and I assume you've seen this. It kind of went viral, but it's a little white boy petting goats, and his mom is filming him, and she's like, "Oh, that's a cute goat. It's a cute little white goat." And then And then she's like, yo, look at the black one. And then a black kid pops into frame. And he's like, the black one? And I was like, dang, yo, this kid's got amazing comedy timing.
Yo, that timing was very on point. I really remember laughing hard at that joint because the black kid came in, his face was all confused. He was like, the black one? What do you mean, my dude?
That kid is going places, I gotta say. Yo, he was like making this dude think that he was racist, bro. And I was like, man, if I was in that situation, I probably would have been squirming.
And the little kid walked up and he was like, the black one? He looked at it and was like, well, what about the white one? What about the brown one? You really picking colors, lady? Oh my gosh, I think you might really hate me.
The lady tried to save herself by being like black and white because the goat technically had some on his like bottom. And
that video is so great.
I just recently bookmarked it. I'll just play it real quick because that shit is so funny.
Oh, that shit is hilarious. I fucking love that video because he walks into frame so perfectly and he looks at her like, the black one.
This is
yo,
okay.
Oh my gosh, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh shit, I gotta
hold on. A little bit of technicals. We getting it hooked up, y'all. The black one.
Oh, good job.
Look at goat.
I know. Look at that white goat. Oh, they are so cute.
Look at
I know. Look, there's a black one.
the black one.
Black and white one.
black and white one. she like tries to correct
and
herself.
I think what's even better is the kid with his goggles, bro. He walked black one.
Yeah, he looks like he's part of like a Disney show. Like he's a character on a Disney show.
So you might as well put a cape on him and just he walks up like a black one. What are you talking about?
I love that shit, bro.
That shit is.
I wonder
great.
whatever happened to that. Remember there was that little black kid they were exploiting, like Kid President or something.
No.
If I show you a picture of this dude, you'll.
Yeah, if I see him, I'm really. Oh yeah.
And,
well, yeah, what happened to him?
And he probably grew up.
Well, yeah, they all did.
But I was like, what is this like weird? Oh yeah, here.
Or have you?
He almost looks like T-Pain now a little bit.
Oh shit, locks now. Okay, there we go. No, do you remember the two little black kids? Is like they're freaking arguing outside. And he, one of them goes like, motherfucking ham sandwich. He's like, he can't even make a ham sandwich. And like, there's like a picture of them both graduating from high school, and they're like together. And I'm like, I love seeing like a viral clip of the, where they are now type shit. You know what I mean? I like that. Like the little white girl in the car seat, like making the little face with her buck teeth. It's just like, and then like
it's because memes were important to us.
Memes are very important.
They at a time like from 2010 to 2015, memes mattered.
Yes.
And when someone went viral, they might end up on Ellen.
Right. Yeah.
They would be like, damn, Daniel's on Ellen right now.
Exactly.
Nowadays is nothing. And you go viral, who gives a fuck? The last person that has had success off of virality that could be comparable is like the Hawk Tua chick.
Hawk Tua, yeah.
But for the most part,
you know what?
that
Going
doesn't happen.
viral is still a thing. Like
Yeah, but you're not getting invited on Ellen. And I saw an interesting take. Maybe I might have bookmarked it. Maybe I can find it. But someone was talking about how Ellen kind of played an important role in society because in theory Damn Daniel could never reach the heights of Hawk Tua because Ellen brought Damn Daniel on and America saw that
absolutely.
It was just some kid pointing at shoes.
Same with the backpack kid.
Right.
He was doing the whole little...
And one could argue that her sort of bringing these viral kids on eliminates the magic of the virality, and then they don't go on to become some insane social figurehead like Hawk Tua did.
You skip the part of them building their content or building their success doing anything else.
It almost feels like it's like a rug pull. The mask is off. Yo, you better not go on Ellen Shaw, that show, yo, because she will let the people know that you're just a dumb bro with some weird shoes, yo.
Yo, the backpack kid did a cool dance. And cool thing, he got bans, cause his dance is in Fortnite game. But when he went on Ellen, it was looking lame.
Yeah, but I thought he didn't like invent that dance. I thought he was just doing another man's dance, and then he just went viral for a chance, and then he went on the Ellen show because he looked weird. He was a skinny white kid.
Yeah, with his backpack on, and I think it was like some dance show that he was on, and he went viral for that. But hey, maybe you're right. I don't know that.
I know he was on that Genius show we were talking about on the last episode. Out my fucking mouth, he was like, "Yo, I'm swagging or something. What was it? Flossing."
Oh yeah, it's called flossing. He was bossing like Rick Rossin, and he got lost in the sauce.
Yeah, it's a clip of him on the Genius show, which he's just saying I'm flossing over and over because they just repeat they're supposed to talk about their lyrics, and his lyrics there's no substance whatsoever, and he's on the show being like, I'm flossing, I'm flossing, I'm flossing. Yeah, so that lyric is about how like I'm flossing at the moment, but it's not like dental care.
Yeah,
it's
it's
more
really
about
like
a dance.
The dance is called flossing, so I'm doing that.
It's like my legs are teeth, and I'm like flossing my legs, sort of.
No, he was on one of Kai Cenat's streams, and it's this is when Drewski's Could Have Been Records was taking off, and he was doing the auditions around. So he did an audition on Kai Cenat's stream, and the Backpack Kid was on there. And the Backpack Kid came on there, and lo and behold, everybody, he does music production. He likes to make music. So he brought out his keyboard, and he was trying to plug it up and shit. But freaking, like, a part of the skit or whatever, Drewski, like, smashed his piano. He's like, I don't want to hear that shit. He's like, what the fuck? He's like, get his ass out of here, and all, you know. But,
I'm a big fan of Drewski's white face.
Roll Tide.
Like because he started off, like, he's built up to this, because he did the white face sketch where it was the white guy raised in the hood, and the makeup was
more so what's crazy is because it's that the character is a real person that like lives in
everyone knows that guy, but
it wasn't necessarily white face that time because the guy is like more so albino light skin, you know.
I thought that the premise of the sketch was that it was a Caucasian man.
No, like he's not fully Caucasian. Like I've looked at
the premise of the sketch was that it's not a fully.
I mean like the sketch was the white dude growing up. But the actual guy, he's not fully white. He's not full white.
Oh wait. You're saying that because I thought the white guy in the hood exists as a demo. You're saying that he was targeting someone specific?
Yeah, he was targeting someone specific.
Who was the guy?
I forget the guy's name, but he lives in Atlanta or whatever. But I'm sure you could look it up. Just look up the white guy growing up in the hood, Drewski skit, and look up like the actual guy because I believe he meets him.
Well, have you are you aware of like the those Wigger twins?
Yeah, I am. Yeah. But the most recent one he did at the NASCAR one, like that one just went crazy. That one went crazy. And what's funny is like
the makeup is so fucking good.
Great.
It's incredible.
It's fucking great. Bro.
And the farmer's tan is like the icing on the cake. The makeup was already good.
Bruh.
And then adding the sunburn is like, yo.
Yeah.
What the hell, dude?
Yeah.
This dude just looks like the cutest white guy ever.
Right.
Like, I'm impressed. It might be the best version of any sort of skin makeup that's ever been done.
What I love that Drewski is doing that a lot of these content creators aren't necessarily doing is that once he blew up and got his fame, because he's like doing shows and like popping up at people's concerts and he's in music videos and stuff, he's still sticking to what got him famous. He's still doing his skits and
That's
funny
good.
stuff. You know what I mean? Because it's like
I'm pretty sure that movie
they want to
is
be actors and they want to do like I get it, understandable because it's like you have.
No, I think he does, want that to be his end all be all.
No, yeah, like, but I feel like it's not necessarily like what he's shooting for directly. He's just more so entertaining.
There's there's like a lane in comedy that you can choose to be in that will make it so that you are never in movies and stuff.
Right.
You know how like Kevin Hart's in a ton of movies?
Right.
He doesn't make the same type of comedy that other people make. He intentionally pulled back a little bit. There's another a recent example would be this comedian Stavros Halkias, who actually was a part of like a very edgy podcast that if he had continued to do that podcast, he probably wouldn't be in movies now. And now he's like in movie. He just was in a Yorgos Lanthimos movie. That dude has won Oscars and shit. So I wouldn't be surprised if there is like, once you do whiteface or blackface, whiteface is less offensive than blackface, of course, because of the history. Like,
but I mean, I'm gonna just be real, and this is coming from a black person, people. And we were just talking about this in the car. Racism is it's funny on so many different levels. It's like you said, it's until you meet that one person that actually has hatred towards another demographic where you're like, yo, this is crazy. You're crazy.
When you meet someone who's actually racist and not just someone who's making a joke on the internet, it will affect you in a way where you're like, weird. Oh shit, this is the bad stuff.
Yeah, this is the bad side of the joke. This is the part that's not funny. Like right. It's
I
crazy.
Don't know. But I think that and I hate that we're talking about this low key because I feel like it's a cliche thing to talk about on a podcast, but I do think that how many people who just live online, they've lost the ability to detect nuance, and they don't even want, even if they are suggested to dig a little deeper and figure out the context, they don't want that because no one wants their worldview to be challenged.
Right.
Which is, I don't know, like I'm the type of person who I have a lot of ignorant opinions, but I'm also very open-minded. If I can be convinced, you know what I mean? If someone can come up to me and explain to me a certain thing that, like, why it's fine, I'm not gonna be like, fuck you, I believe this and that's how it is.
I need good evidence and facts for, like, I'm never going to downplay anyone's opinion or their point of view, because we all live our own lives and we see shit differently. You know, I would never tell you are wrong for what you believe in or whatever it is, but for you to persuade me, I need you to really, you know, give me concrete evidence and give me good proof on why I should agree and be on your side on this.
There's also something about me specifically that it might be a bad thing, even if I like really genuinely believe in a thing. I'm not out on the corner, you know, with the megaphone trying to get people to also think how I think. I kind of used to be like that. Yeah, honestly,
I used to have a Twitter burner account where I would, just troll and, you know, not necessarily post shit, but I would just troll people's posts and just reply with, you know, how I felt. You know what I mean? It would just be one of those like trolling Twitter accounts with no, you know, profile picture and like, you know, but
I went through a weird troll period as well, and randomly, so Richard's older brother, I didn't mean to do this, but like anytime he posted on Facebook, I would just sort of acknowledge the post in a way that made him feel kind of stupid or whatever. And I kind of, in my head, I didn't think I was being that rude, you know, but I wish I could think of an actual example, but
there's some foreplay out there.
Well, you know, one of the things that used to be, and it still is a thing, but it used to be a little more prevalent, is people would post an image of like Johnny Cash or something, and then it would have words underneath that was a message, but like Johnny Cash never said that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Okay, so it'd just be the picture and say like some dumb quote underneath.
It would,
like,
yeah, and it'd be like a man looks out for something or
Some
whatever, and it
bullshit.
was like, and it'd be like Johnny Cash never said this shit. And I remember there was a period of time where anytime like another there's a famous cowboy actor. He's in the Big Lebowski, and I think his name is Sam something, but I can't.
I want to say Sam Quentin. Not Sam Quentin. Sam.
I'm gonna find it out right now. Big Lebowski. Wow, I typed in Big Lab, and it's not the first. It's because I didn't type in the. That's why. There it is.
Speaking of viral, have you seen the clip of the chick where she's like, what did she say? Don't love. What did she say? Don't love your job your love, or some shit like that. It's like
what does it mean?
But it's like she's trying to be like, I don't even know what the word is.
It's the idea that like you should be treating your love for others like it's a job, like you show up and you love your friends and family. No,
it's more so, you know how people are like, don't love the job you're doing, find a job that you'll love, or something like that. Like, do the job that you.
It was a retarded way to say it.
And what was crazy is because, it's funny because she's a very beautiful and attractive woman, and she's saying this on whatever podcast, and the guy's just like, oh my God, I totally get it. And everybody in the comments is like blasting her. Oh, we're out of time.
Oh, you know what? We're out of beats too. That's why.
Oh shit. Well,
we've been running long because we're just having such a good time.
Having a great time, you guys.
Thanks for tuning in, folks. We're being. I don't even know what to say.
Yeah.
Be safe out there.
Be safe.
Don't be a fucking freak. You know what I mean? Like, just
real.
Just if you believe stuff like and believe in things, that's cool, of course. But don't become radicalized.
That part.
At the end of the day, if you become radicalized, you lose a part of yourself that I don't even know. It's like
don't force your beliefs on others. You can't do that. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, their own point of view, their own outlook. If you feel strongly about a certain thing and you want people to hear you out, that's absolutely fine. But you should never force or push your take on other people.
And you know what? And if you're around people that do that, try and get away from that shit. Because honestly, if you're in an echo chamber, some people want to be in an echo chamber, and I think you should not want to be in an echo chamber. You need to have
solitude,
different voices, and that's not me saying that like you need to acknowledge the voices as valid or anything, but it's like a if you intentionally remove yourself from society in a way that only fits your own personal worldview, it's not going to work out well for you because everyone's worldview is different, and it's going to fuck you in the long run.
And really quick before we cut, I want to say I forgot your name, brother, but you know who you are. Shout out to one of our Patreons or subscribers on YouTube. They hit me up on Twitch.
Oh, no way.
So they followed me on Twitch.
Fuck yeah, I wish I knew who it was.
They were DMing me on Instagram. I'm going to have to pull you up. Appreciate the love, you guys. You know.
We went so long that the theme song is now auto-playing. That's a good time to end it.
We out of here, y'all.
Bye.